Yes, my little girl. Yes. Where's my little angel? Boom, baby. We are live. Thank you for everybody for coming in and watching the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 Raffle. Yes, the 50/50 Raffle. We are live. This is a live broadcast TV for the entire SHIB community, SHIB, or Shiba Inu. The people's currency. That's right, the people's currency. What were you doing outside? Oh, you got wet. That's why you came downstairs, because you want to get comfy and warm. Yeah, talking about my cat. Sorry about that. That rhymes. Go figure. So tonight, on our main event of the evening, we are going to be talking about the raffle draw. So the update on the raffle draw is that we're having a carryover to the next day. Woo! To the next day. So the carryover of the raffle, so that everyone who wants to take part in the raffle, know where to buy your tickets. You go to SHIB 5050raffle.com, and wherever it says buy your tickets, you punch in the amount that you want to buy, fill out the form. There's 2 forms to fill out for this, okay? And the autoresponder is going to send you an your wallet address and copy the QR code, paste the QR code in the box, but you'll need to own SHIB. So everybody who wants to take part in the raffle needs to own SHIB. We recommend that you have 2 wallets, one for your regular and one for the actual raffle. Because when you want to get paid, you probably don't want to get paid on the place where you buy where you go and buy your SHIB tickets, right? Just out of curiosity, and for your safety, because it's easier to move it to your trust wallet. Abby, hello, how are you? Good to see you, Abby. Long time no see. How are you? You remember me? That's awesome. Midnight, we just stop playing around with the computer? Like cats, eh? They're just like inquisitive. So tonight, we're talking about the massive accumulation that's been going on. Over 80 trillion. I'm doing great, Abby. I'm doing great. We're trying to get more information on SHIB as possible, because I know everybody else is like very interested in the people's currency and how come it's not moving, and if it is moving, it's moving in the wrong direction. It's being forced, if you believe it or not. It's actually being forced down. More and more, the 40 wallet holders that are currently holding SHIB, which is our exchanges, are manipulating it. Now, I talked to different AI bots about this, and some of them agree with the statement that's saying that AI is actually the one manipulating it. But it's hard to capture AI. If someone's got any ideas on how to go through the wallets and figure it out, because what's happening is the transactions that are happening are enormous, but over time, not like all at once. For instance, we had $170 million in transactions that were buying SHIB. Now that's hard to believe because the price hasn't changed, but they've been doing it on slow increments. Okay, Abby, do you know anything about cryptocurrency? You see the dog that's in the picture? See the Shiba Inu dog? Do you know anything about cryptocurrency, Abby? Sinclair. anything at all about the SHIB Inu dog? Do you know anything about it? Because that's what we cover here on this channel. That's what we cover on this TV broadcast. Is SHIB and the burn reduction. Because with this token, like a lot of cryptocurrencies, they have burns that are in there. Okay, well that's great that you don't know anything about it, Abby. Would you like to know anything about it? Would be the next question. If you're interested, SHIB right now is at 13. So $13 and roughly 40 cents buys you 1 million SHIB. You can't buy for $13.45, doesn't buy you anywhere near BTC at $120,000 USDT. Okay, yeah. Okay, since you're new, Abby, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So make sure you hit the like button. If you love the channel and want to come back, absolutely appreciate it if you would like to come back and see us. Jason Cox comes on quite a bit. He can give you, if you're in the United States, he can give you a heads up on Robinhood. Now, Robinhood's probably the cheapest in the United States to buy SHIB. The fees are like 20 cents per transaction, which is insanely cheap. Majority of them are around 50 cents to $1. Oh, you're in Canada. You're in with me. Okay, so you have a couple choices. You have Bitmart, Margex, Crypto.com, Coinbase, which is expensive, but it's fairly safe. Crypto.com is extremely safe. Wealthsimple, we don't recommend Wealthsimple, even though they're regulated through the Canadian government. So, Abby, and thank you for pointing that out. I forgot that you're like me in Canada. You're in Ontario, right? And I'm in Alberta. Yeah, so I'm with Wealthsimple. I'm also with Bitmart. Okay. Their fees aren't that outrageous, but they allow us to use the SHIB 50/50 raffle on our platform. And it's a worldwide event so that they understand. And they give me a little bit of leniency with the amount of... so for the burns, it costs me nothing. No, for getting people to send me money, costs them nothing. So there's no fees associated with receiving money. Receiving SHIB, sorry, not money, not SHIB, SHIB. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about what SHIB is. So it's a cryptocurrency. It's also known as the people's currency because it's completely 100% decentralized. Means no governance whatsoever. There's no employees. There's no period. There's no employees. So it's got no... But the other problem is it has no marketing team. It has no advertising team. So the people that are behind it, like I am and other people who are in SHIB, which is approximately 20 million people, but we can't track them all. So like if you go to etherscan.com, it gives you the amount of wallet holders on Ether because it's an RC20 token from Ethereum. So it was generated from Ethereum after Vitalik Buterin burned 410 trillion SHIB, leaving 589 trillion SHIB in circulation. Did you catch all that? Yeah, 20 million people. No, not people, wallets. There's difference. I have 3 or 4 wallets. My wife has 3 or 4 wallets. Mass love shout out to Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony's also in Ontario. So, Abby, that's great communication. And hello, you fellow shibbers. Yes. So, yes. So, if you don't know anything about SHIB's the people's currency. Yeah, he's also in Ontario. So, and I'm sorry that I look sad. I don't mean to look sad. This is a happy time, right? We all should be happy. We're about to be extremely wealthy. You're in Edmonton. Oh my goodness gracious, Abby. Edmonton. Oh, I thought you were in Ontario. That's okay, Abby. Elks. You like the Elks? Edmonton Oilers. Big Oilers fan. Big Elks fan. It was the Eskimos. I thought Eskimos was better. But Elks, whatever. Are you a big football fan? Not a big football fan? Yes, we're in Calgary. So, yay, Calgary. Looking forward to separation. Separating from the West. Mark Anthony hates that. He wants us all to be part of a big team. He still calls them the Eskimos. I thought the Eskimos was a better name, but that's just me. And they were champions for a long time as the Eskimos. They won a lot of championships. Now the Elks is, it's a good name too. Not gonna, and it probably goes better with the, the buck stops here kind of thing. I don't know. It just gets crazy. Well, we're more spread out west. Massive love show to Watson. Yeah. So yeah, massive love show to Watson. Here, Abby, let me get you in here as a moderator. There you go. Yay! Yeah, so massive love show to Mark Anthony in the house. Massive love show to Watson in the house. So yes, SHIB Army. We are here to talk about, we have Abby who... Okay, so we just started the raffle back in November. So we've been hosting and trying to get people to be aware of SHIB for some time now, since 2022, September 2022. We've been trying to get everybody, I was hoping to get everybody pumped up about SHIB back in 2022, because everybody needs to know a couple of things about SHIB. So the biggest and the most gracious of all is the fact that it's a miracle that it never took off. It took off, but it went, I shouldn't say it never took off. It went up 72 million% back in 2021. Massive run. And it started in August, toward the end of August. And then it took off in September, October, November, and December is when it reached its all-time high. And then it reached it again in January, second week of January. And that all-time high was 4088 USDT. So that's 301, almost 11, 12, somewhere around there. Canadian. So right now, SHIB is completely undervalued and is being completely manipulated because whoever is taking over is really buying massive chunks of it. Now, Upbit, who I thought was BlackRock, isn't. It's Upbit. BTCC has bought 50 trillion SHIB. Now, SHIB was at 305 trillion SHIB in January. Now, that was a long time. So the holders, top 40, I'm talking about the top 40 wallet holders. They were the longest holders, and it was kept going up and down. So it wasn't continuous. Continued to go up and down. But lately, since January, we've added almost 80 trillion SHIB holders into the top 40, so that we're at 383 trillion SHIB. Yeah, 383 trillion in the top wallet holders. That's 65% being held by the top wallet holders. Now that's insane. And it's climbing, people. It's climbing. So what does that tell you? It tells you that there's Not only is there price action depreciation going on, but it's also telling you that what's going to happen the next is the SHIB is going to just explode out of nowhere. Looks like he has his eyes on the profits. Yeah, well, the SHIB dog is about the tug of war that's happening right now between the different exchanges. And this hasn't happened yet. We're waiting for that to happen, and that's going to create a massive panic attack for the exchanges. So that's the next bidding war that's going to take place. It's going to help skyrocket SHIB's price, and I do believe if AI is taking over, you're going to start seeing little things to watch for. What are we having for dinner? Shepherd's pie for me. I don't know about Mark Anthony, but anyway, not to get away from SHIB. It's AI is believed to be manipulating SHIB's price because of the amount of buy-ins that's been happening. And we're starting to see more and more reductions in SHIB circulating supply on smaller scales. So that means that there's some testing going on. Does anyone know what testing means? Or divergence? Means while you're looking over here, because the burns, no one looks at burns unless it's high. Like Binance just burned 1 billion SHIB. Now that should have sent volume into SHIB, but for some reason the volume has kind of stabilized. I don't know if anyone's watched the volume on SHIB. Mark Anthony, have you watched it? Because the volume has kind of dropped off. We're at 34 trillion SHIB, which is around 50 million dollars worth, $60 million worth going into SHIB. So the burns have been stagnant, but they're getting more and more repetitive on different levels, if anyone's noticed. So we're getting more and more frequent burns. They're just smaller burns. That usually indicates, okay, never mind, we just had 10 million SHIB removed in the last 7 hours. But like 735,000 SHIB removed, 469,000 SHIB removed, 37,000 SHIB removed, 69,000. So this is the burns we're talking about, the reductions, Abby, that are happening in SHIB. So the faster we decline in the amount that's left in circulating supply, the faster the growth of SHIB, which is the value of SHIB. If anyone understands that concept, the less you have, the more valuable it is. So Abby, if you had a bunch of diamonds and you lost those diamonds, some of those diamonds, it would mean that those diamonds would gain more and more volume. Massive love shout out to Babe's channel. Massive love shout out to Wena. Massive love shout out to Rowena. And welcome to the SHIB TV broadcast. So if anyone was watching, you would see that the reduction in SHIB circulating supply actually adds value. Now, does that give anyone an idea of just how much would have to be burned in order to add even more value? You know what I mean now? Yeah. Okay, so SHIB is the only one besides Bitcoin that has this ability. Bitcoin has no governance. It's exact same as SHIB. SHIB has no governance. So what does that mean for everybody? Well, that means that it's completely on its own. That also being said, it needs everybody to what? To promote it. Because it has no marketing team and it has no advertising teams. And if you're looking for the ecosystem development team to promote SHIB, it just does not. It just doesn't. Shout out back. Mark Anthony. Awesome, buddy. Awesome. And good on Abby for seeing other people in the room. That's awesome. So So what's SHIB TV all about? The SHIB TV is all about educating you and keeping you up to date what's going on. So what we've noticed is we've started looking at the volume of SHIB and the amount of new investments coming into SHIB. So right now, what is the... Before we're at 1,222,648 wallet holders on which Etherscan. That's right, Etherscan. Why do we cover Etherscan? Because it's a what? It tells us how many wallet holders that are on Etherscan. So that's on Ethereum network, Abby. So the 20 million SHIB holders is from all the exchanges. Majority of those exchanges have to deal with fees associated with Ethereum. But like Robinhood doesn't, because they buy it directly from Ethereum and they buy a oversupply. They're able to trade on their own platform. So they avoid paying Etherscan any fees. Or Ethereum any fees. Same thing with Crypto.com. Same thing with Binance. All of them deal with their own exchange. They've already bought their tokens from, and this is the other part that Mark Anthony and I and everybody else that's in SHIB, okay, at the price range that SHIB is at right now, it's completely undervalued. So all the exchanges, there's over 600 different exchanges now. All those exchanges can now buy SHIB on their own, which they haven't started doing. And once that happens, it starts a tug of war. It starts price bidding. And dominance starts to take form. Now, with AI manipulating the price, that's dangerous. And anyone will tell you that's extremely dangerous for anyone to try and take advantage of that. Because what does that tell you? It tells you that right now is a good time to get in. Absolutely. It also tells the exchanges it's a good time to buy in because of the price is so low. And to acquire as much SHIB as possible. But what we have right now is 383 trillion SHIB being held by the top 40 wallets, which means the price targeting for each of the exchanges hasn't happened yet. That's how we know. And there only leaves 200 trillion left for the rest of the 560 exchanges to start acquiring. And according to AI, we are sitting at around 120 to 180 exchanges holding SHIB, but they're not acquired enough of it to start buying and selling on their own exchange platform to avoid paying Ethereum the gas fees. Now those gas fees are around 50 cents. And remember, Ethereum, the more volume that happens, the price of each transaction goes up. Because it has, it only has a certain amount of servers to handle the flow. So as soon as those servers start to backlog, Ethereum charges more for the transaction fees to slow down the amount of transactions that are happening per minute. Now with SHIB, please keep in mind when you start looking at SHIB's price action, you're going to see something that happens very, very quickly. That's transactions happen about every half a second. So every half a second, there's a transaction. Can you believe it? So that means there's a buyer and a seller in less than a second, which is phenomenal. Now, once SHIB starts a rip or a tear, we have billions of USDT trading hands every second. So there's like 30 to 40 different transactions a second. So that tells you exactly how much money is sitting and just trading back and forth. It's astounding to watch. Yes, Abby, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. Look forward to you tomorrow. We're on every day, 7 days a week. Well, lately I haven't been because we had the Stampede this week. So I took 3 days off. I think it was 3 days off from the live broadcast. But we're usually on roughly this time every single day. So please keep that in mind. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, everybody. the more people we have subscribed to the channel, the more adventurous we can be and more positive we can help each other out, right? No problem, Abby. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Excellent, Abby. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everybody who comes on and comments. It's awesome. Well, it's always recorded. You can always watch it later, or just thumbs up and smiley face for your comment, or whatever it is you want to put on there. Peace out. Have fun. High five. Big wave to everybody. Well, we're all about trying to help each other out, right? That's what this channel is all about, is wealth creation, helping each other out. Become more aware of what's going on, so that, because we don't want to be buying it at Bitcoin's price, right? That's what we're trying to prevent, is people getting in. And I got a funny feeling that you guys are going to be very, very happy in the next 6 to 9 months from now. And we could see an explosion before then too. So we're getting into bull season. So it starts now, accumulating now until basically September. And then we're going to see some massive moves. Probably around 30x to 100x your money, and possibly even more. It depends on a few factors. More reductions, that means it's going to be harder to get in at the price you want. Like, this is a good price. Thank you, Abby. That's awesome. Big heart to you too. Eh? Massive heart out. Thanks, Abby, for coming. Really appreciate you. Have fun and enjoy your dinner. God bless you. Jesus loves each and every one of us. So we like to share this message with the entire world too, is Jesus Christ was born. Do I think SHIB will reach a penny? The question, Mustang 78, is when will SHIB reach a penny? Now, according to what's going on, you're about to see a massive explosion in SHIB. So 20 cents is not out of the realm. Okay, that also means that there's going to be what? You're not going to have months to act on it, or days. You're going to have hours. Eric! Massive love shout to Eric. Massive love shout to Mustang. In the house! Massive love shout out, right? Bring it on, right? Bring it on. So will it reach 1 penny? It's possible. When? That's the kicker. Mustang. So please keep that in mind. What's going on right now is massive manipulation in SHIB. There's a reason why the price is kept so low, and the volume is continually dropping off. People are getting upset that the price hasn't moved in over 3 years. We did have a massive run last year in March, 5x, which was awesome. Everybody enjoyed that run, right? Made some money. Finally, SHIB took off, and then it slowed right down and went back to where it was almost where it started. But we've reduced SHIB massively, and it's still 56 billion SHIB was removed. And then we had a 5x run. Binance just burned 1 billion SHIB. What did people do? Sell off. That's what people do. They don't look at it the way it's supposed to be looked at. They're looking at it from, there's no action. Yeah, but who's causing that no action? That's the thing. And yes, there's a ceiling put in place. That ceiling is dangerous too, right? If more and more people understood what was going on, because they don't, and trust me, they don't. 20 cents would be good. You would be happy with that. What happens if it went to $2? Everybody understand what that means? Do you know what that means? You have 50 million coins. Okay, Mustang, that's awesome. What do we say on the channel, guys? If you have more than 5 million, all you say is, I have a lot of SHIB. You don't tell them exactly how much you have. So you just say you have more than 5 million SHIB. 50 million is good, right? At 20 cents, that's how much money? A lot of money, yeah. But you got to be able to hold it for that period. And that's going to be very difficult because you're going to be tempted to sell it. But what you got to keep in mind is there's 3 or 4 things that you have to watch for. Anyone know what those 4 things are? I know Mark Anthony knows what those are. Babes knows what those things are, what the 4 things are. And I think Watson knows what those 4 things are. So 1 is the burn rate. Number of wallet holders in SHIB. Because if it starts to accumulate and the number gets released of 100 million, 200 million, you're looking at a price of about $2 to $3. So, and then the burns. And the burns are going to happen quicker than anyone thinks. Because right now, SHIB is being tested by AI. So what's happening is they're buying and selling. Okay? So majority of it's going, buying it and then burning it. Buying it, burning it, buying it, burning it, buying it, burning it. Quicker than what you're thinking. Okay? So once you start seeing those pick up, and it's going to be consistent, but it's going to happen over different, I'm thinking it's going to happen over different wallets. Now, AI says differently. It will happen on the same wallets, but different intervals. And it'll be done on a percentage basis, which most people are going to miss. Okay? And how fast are they going to happen? Every second. Every second there's going to be a reduction. Now, how much of a reduction? At first, like it's happening right now. Okay? Just to give you a hint, what's happening right now is a reduction in SHIB. Let's say, let's use a real low number, 30,000 from 2C, 3C, DD, okay, the wall holder. 30,000 SHIB. In the next 2 or 3 hours, we have the exact same burn on the exact same wallet. Now, AI says it'll be different. It'll be based on sublimation. So it'll be a percentage increase or a percentage decrease to see the response. Then if it doesn't get a response, it's going to do the exact same thing after a certain period of time. So the calculations are based on rhythmic patterns. So those are the things you need to watch for. Because if those start to pick up, guys, that means the burns are going to start happening quicker and more responsive. Anyone get that? Does anyone understand that concept? CPA. Massive love shout to CPA. Welcome. And CPA's in the house. Okay, Mustang, do I think 50 million SHIB coins is enough? First of all, only you can determine if that's enough for you, right? No one else can dictate to you. We only recommend that everybody that comes in, because this isn't financial advice. I'm not your advisor. I'm not your analyst. I have no idea of your financial background. You don't need very much SHIB because SHIB is extremely inexpensive. So that's one thing. We say every Sunday you're supposed to, or not, you're not supposed to. You're look at acquiring it on Sundays, but last 4 Sundays we haven't had a sell-off, but Mondays we've had sell-offs. So you could transfer that to this Monday's buy-in, because that's usually when we get a sell-off. Same thing with on Friday evening, we get a sell-off now on Friday evenings. Saturday is accumulation, so you don't want to be buying on accumulation days. You want to be buying it when people are selling it. Okay, so when it dips, that's when you want to be buying it. So we only recommend buying a lottery ticket's worth. So whatever your lottery ticket is worth, or whatever you spend on a lottery ticket, that's what you spend in SHIB. Every 2 weeks, every payday, every month, whatever you feel comfortable with. Some people only feel comfortable with spending $25 every payday towards this. And that's fine, right? The wife spends $25 every 2 weeks on this. I put in $50 every 2 weeks in SHIB. every payday. That works out. I always buy on Sunday. I'm probably going to change it now to Monday, only because we've noticed that the last 4 Sundays have not been sell-offs. They haven't been accumulating. It's just stagnant, right? But I'd rather buy on dip days. That's just me personally. I could set it up so that I'm not buying it at all, and then I just buy it whenever it dips. Could do that too. It's just easier to buy it automatically. Everybody agree with that? Right? So we always say on sell-off Sundays, that's when you want to acquire it, because it's usually the dip days. And usually when you set it up, it usually picks the lowest point of the day to buy it. So you don't have to worry about it. That's just me personally. I don't know about the rest of you, of what you've noticed. And if you like to share that information, absolutely share that information. Just don't tell them how much you're spending. It could be $5 every week. No one needs to know. You know, I told everybody, but it's only $50. I mean, the amount of SHIB I'm buying with $50, and it's Canadian, so it's roughly around 18 right now, 1835, 1845 Canadian. So that buys you 1 million, right? SHIB. It's cheap. It's extremely cheap. It's inevitable that it's going to continue to climb. It's just inevitable. It's just the way it's set up. And why would AI ever pick SHIB to do a testing? No governing body. Cheap, and there's lots of supply. Means that AI, anyone here deal with AI? You notice how many mistakes AI makes? Just on ChatGPT or on any platform, when you go into dictation and you punch it in, how many times you have to go and correct every sentence structure, every other word you have to correct it. It's almost like it's not even, don't waste my time with it. I'll just do it myself. And don't stick to autocorrect, because autocorrect usually makes a mistake too. So anyone notice that? Okay, now you're talking financial parameters that's got to be set up to reduce the circulating supply, buy as much SHIB as they can possibly get their hands on. So you're looking at those 3 things. Okay, SIPA, how much bone do you own? How much leash? How much leash? Is it more than $100 worth? Right, just put down a lot. If it's over 100, put down a lot. Right. If you don't own any, that's okay. Just say, I don't own any leash. I'm just asking about the leash and bone. Okay, so leash and bone are part of what team? They are part of the SHIB.io prodigy or development team. They have nothing. I shouldn't say have nothing. Okay, excellent, CPA. So leash and bone. Bone is used as a gas fee on Shibarium. Shibarium is a layer 2 blockchain on the Ethereum network. So it's faster, it's cheaper than Ethereum. It's like half a cent per transaction from Shibarium. So it's extremely cheap. It does offer blockchain, so they do offer some security on their network, but they don't really burn any SHIB. They come out and said that they were going to use SHIB as a gas token on Shibarium, and then retracted it. And as soon as they did that, the whole SHIB network basically boycotted them, saying that you're a bunch of, what's the word? Manipulators. Yeah, they're not very honest about what they represent when it comes to SHIB. They keep making promises that they're going to start reducing SHIB on each of the platforms that they produce, and then what do they do when they're getting ready to launch that? They what? They retract the statement saying that they're not reducing SHIB. Sorry about your luck. Yeah, so they're not focused on what's important for the entire community. So we don't cover much of them. They did burn, okay, not to get anyone bubble about the ecosystem development team. They did burn 56 billion SHIB, but as soon as Lucy came out, January, middle of January, Lucy came out. She's part of the development team. Came out and made a statement saying, see, we burned 56 billion SHIB. And what did it do with the price? It did nothing. That's what she said. It did nothing. March 3rd, we jump in 14 days. I think it was 14 days or 13 days. Around 13 to 14 days, we jumped 5x. It went from 7.9 to 4 zeros, 5.5 for a split second. Jason Cox is in the house. Woo! Let's bump it up, brother. Let's. SHIB doesn't need to be pumped up, guys. It's awesome on its own. Ball cap in the house. Woo! Massive love show to everybody. Jeff, massive love show to you. It's not burning fast enough, Jeff. AI just started reducing it, my brother. It's starting to test the waters. So you have to be a little bit more patient. And once you start seeing the burns, are you going to be ready to jump in? Because you won't have days. You'll have hours. So please keep that in mind, guys. If you're waiting for the massive burns to come, you're going to be sitting back watching it getting toasted, just absolutely roasted, and sitting on the sideline saying, well, I need the money. I don't have the money. I got to wait till payday. And they're continuously burning it hour by hour. No, minute by minute. You got to remember, this is AI bots doing the work for you to not help you. It's not about helping you. It's helping them control the narrative. The narrative is dominance. The exchange that controls the dominance controls the debt ratios of every single person that's acquiring SHIB. So you're losing that dominance the longer it takes. That's why the test right now is continually going on. And how do we know that? 306 trillion SHIB held by the top 40 wallet holders 7 months ago and didn't move for over a year. Like really, like 8 months of nothingness. Just back and forth, back and forth. It was going between different exchanges. Now, there's 383 trillion. That's almost 80 trillion in 7 months being acquired. 65% of the total supply is being held by the top 40 wall holders. That should scare people because that's what's happening right now. And they've been doing it. They've been accumulating it very quickly over a duration. So people haven't been noticing it. Because if you noticed it, you wouldn't be like, oh, when's it going to pop? Well, it's going to pop extremely quickly, and it won't give you the time that you're thinking it's going to give you. People are going to miss out on it big time. And people are missing that whole concept. I don't know why. Bulk cap, I have no idea either. Well, we're expecting, see, this is the other thing, right, everybody? Alt season's happening, right? Next month, at the end of next month. So like the end of August. Right now we're seeing a bit of that because Ethereum's starting to take off. It's at 3,000. It should be roughly around 5,000 right now. All of us should be up, but for some reason it hasn't happened. Bitcoin hit an all-time high when? Everything should have doubled from there, right? As soon as Bitcoin hit over $73,000 and continued, everything should have doubled and stayed over that doubling. But it didn't. So how come, right? People will say, well, Doge was at 6 cents. Now it's at 18. So it's 3 times. That's true. It is. And it hasn't really come down. It went to 14 cents. But for SHIB, it hasn't doubled, right? So, and it did do 5x, but it didn't hold on to it. And the value of SHIB is 30596 right now. So 30596 is value for SHIB. So we're well under value. Just so everybody knows what value means. Why we say the value? Because 56 billion SHIB was removed. That's nothing compared to what's been removed. 695 billion SHIB has been removed since then. That's 12x more. But because it was slow and steady, it didn't mean anything to anybody. But you look at it and say, well, that's 12x. We haven't seen any accumulation in price. So the value of SHIB is 12 times where Shibarium did their burn, the 56 billion. 56 billion to 694 billion. Hello. Haven't seen that, right? So where could it go? Possibly 3 zeros, 2 zeros, 5, half a cent. Okay. Roughly 10x, right? Usually companies trade at 10x when they're a financial institution, more than their value. Well, SHIB's well under its that target price. Love the profile. Surrey. Let's look at Surrey. Half a cent would be nice. Well, that's where it should be right now. Like right now, that tells you how much has been manipulated downward. Ball cap, that's an understatement. I just told you it's almost 50x from where it should be. Just to get the value, guys, just to get the value is like 49, 48 times your money right now. Mustang, what will help it go up? More people buying it. That's our whole idea is to get more people into SHIB before AI or any manipulation that goes on with the exchanges. But I honestly think we're too late for the punch bowl. The raffle, the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle will make it jump exceptionally fast. Why? Because it brings in more wall holders. Because you have to have SHIB, you have to be holding it to buy a raffle ticket. And what does the raffle do? What does the raffle do? It reduces SHIB circulating supply and awards the person that wins it. So that everybody wins in the raffle. Every single person on the planet wins in the raffle. So how can it make it go up? The raffle, promote the raffle. We need 300,000 hits on the channel, on the website daily to make that happen. Okay, for me to state that SHIB is going to $10 would mean that there's a lot of things that have to happen before that happens. Or there's a massive reduction plan that's in place that's going to make it happen. And if I told you it's going to go to $100, everybody would say I'm crazy. Bitcoin did it. But what would happen if you had 500 million people trying to buy SHIB right now? It would drive it to $10. Absolutely. Beyond $10. Because, like I said before, 383 trillion SHIB held by the top 40 wallet holders. That leaves 206 trillion SHIB in circulation. That's it, guys. 206 trillion for the rest of the 540 exchanges. Then you got companies, you got organizations. All of them want to make money. There's not a single one of them that doesn't want to make money. So what would they do to make absolute money? Well, they would come up with a buying strategy and then a burn strategy. Why would they do burn? Anybody? Any company, why would they want to burn SHIB? Drive up the value of their own currency. And guess what? It costs them $0, which means it's zero risk to every single company in the world. Zero risk. And how do you know this? Okay, anyone buy a pizza? Anyone go to a restaurant? Anyone go and buy coffee at a coffee shop? Anybody? Everybody, right? Everybody goes and buys a coffee. When a cop goes to a donut shop or a coffee shop, do they pay for the coffee? Anybody? Do they pay for the coffee? No, they don't. They don't pay for the donut. They don't pay for the cookie. They don't pay for the coffee. How does the company write that off? It's 100% write-off for them, by the way. How much is that? It's $5 or $6, $5 or $6, okay, per day. So you had every single company in the world writing off $5 to $6 every single day. How much money is that? How fast would SHIB grow if every single one of them were reducing SHIB that quickly? And on top of that, they would be buying it because it's zero cost to them. They would be buying SHIB at the same time. Now, if they were to do this and reduce SHIB circulating supply, how much money would they accumulate? Anybody? You got to remember that when you look at the sign and says McDonald's, everybody look at McDonald's signs. 99 billion served. Anyone see that? 99 billion served. Everybody sees those signs? Do you understand what that means? If you were to reduce 1% on just McDonald's, is almost 1.43 trillion removed every single year just from McDonald's. Now you got Amazon, Alibaba, Walmart, Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, Nordstrom's, Forever 21, Kmart. You have all these conglomerate stores, all of them going to be doing the exact same thing. Every franchise company in the world doing the exact same thing. How much money would be reduced? Enormous amount of SHIB. At the price that SHIB is at right now, that would be astronomical. You're looking at no supply in 3 years. You're under Bitcoin's, right? You're under the 21 million in SHIB. How much money would that be? And everybody's like, oh, that'll never happen. Okay. How many out there is going to have a price target of 20 cents? And how much SHIB are you going to have after 20 cents? How much are you going to start liquidating? Now, me and Mark are looking at it going, well, we're never going to liquidate. We're just going to borrow against it. Exactly. Why wouldn't you? And then you're going to reduce SHIB on your own. How would you do that? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to become a bank. Okay, you're going to start thinking like a bank. I'm going to leverage SHIB to take a loan out in useless fiat currency, use that useless fiat currency for me. So what's going to happen is I'm going to lend out that money, a certain percentage of it. I'm going to keep a certain percentage of it because I need to make money. So I'm going to use my fiat currency that I borrowed and pay my bills and give me a little bit extra for my traveling. And then I'm going to lend out the rest of it. And every time that someone pays me back that fiat currency on what I lent out, it's going towards reducing SHIB supply and buying SHIB at the same time and paying off my debt. But a portion of it's going towards reduction and buying more SHIB. Why do I want to do those things? Anybody? Because every time I reduce SHIB circulating supply, I'm increasing the value. Every time I'm paying off my debt towards what I just lent out, I get to borrow even more money. That's right. I get to borrow even more money because SHIB's always doing what? Constantly adding value, especially if everybody's got the same concept. Because you're able to do that. But what's going to happen if AI takes over? It's going to limit the amount of SHIB you're going to be able to hold. Period. And that's what they want. And what do they want to try and do? Get everybody to get out of it. Try and get you out. That's why the price has been where it's at. Is to try and get, it's not going anywhere. It's not moving. People are getting frustrated. So what do? They sell it. Say, I never want to go back into it. It's not worth it. So they buy something else where it's moving quicker. They want you out of SHIB. Because the faster you get out of it, the more they can acquire it. And the more they accumulate, the more that they turn themselves into a conglomerate. A financial domino. And that's what they all want. They want to be that financial domino. They want control of the world debt. We don't want that. We want the people to have the power, not the corporations to have the power. They already have enough power. They control us right now. We don't want to control them. We just want to become them. right? We want that ability to do what we want when we want. They have that ability now, but they keep robbing us to do it. And this way, everybody has a chance to get in and talk about it and get everybody else involved and get everybody else talking about it so that everybody else can become extremely wealthy. Exactly. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. We want wealth creation for the people, by the people. Because people forget that this is your currency. Don't let anyone steal it from you for nothing, because that's what they're trying to do right now, is take it away from you. And trying to get you to think that it's a dead end currency. The truth of the matter is, it's constantly evolving, and if you're not careful, you're going to watch it evolve right past you. And that's that's the truth of it. I'm Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 Raffle. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. God bless each and every one of you. Pirate AIs. Yeah, well, that's it in a nutshell, ball cap. That's exactly it. Try and convince you that it's not worth anything while they're acquiring it. Name of the game. And this is something that you can get behind because you can see it evolving right in front of you. All you gotta do is go on Shibari and Burn, go on Etherscans, watch the amount of wall holders that are acquiring it right now, which is a lot. Watch for the wallet holders, 383 trillion on the top 40 exchanges. That, like, top 40 wall holders, that tells you a lot right there. 206 trillion left in circulating supply for the rest of the exchanges. And remember, a lot of those exchanges on the top 40 are duplicate. Crypto.com has like 6, Binance has like 7 or 8 different exchanges. No, wallet holders, same thing. Bybit has 5, right? 10 trillion each. Bybit, 5. They're number 1 right now. Jason Cox, yeah, the hailstorm. Guys, I got called away. The wife was panicking over a hailstorm. It wasn't that big of a hailstorm, Jason. The wife was just paranoid. Yeah, it was coming down in the size of pennies. Like, it's smaller than pennies. So it wasn't very big. The wife was like, hey, you want to check the truck? And I'm like, not going out. And the truck can handle that kind of, it's nothing. We've seen, the thing is that it hasn't happened in a long time in this area that's been, that consistent. It was loud. I could hear it down here. But yeah, the hailstorm wasn't that bad, Jason. Thanks for letting us know that you were watching. That's awesome. God bless each and every one of you. The first thing we talk about, Mark Anthony, is John 3:16. Right, John 3:16. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son as a sacrificial lamb for the entire world, so that you would come to Jesus Christ, because he was the lamb that sacrificed himself for your sins. Sin means death, right? Something has to die for you to be forgiven of your sins, so that you knew the price of sin. It was something pure and innocent had to die for your sins. That was the whole purpose of the killing the lamb. You come forth, they bring you up to the altar. I sinned, I'm so sorry. They would kill the lamb for your sacrifice, for the sacrifice that you were forgiven, so that you knew the price of that sacrifice, right? That the forgiveness of your sin. Jesus Christ took that on the cross for every single person on the planet. No problem, ball cap. I really appreciate everybody comes in. Yes, so that's why we praise Jesus Christ and offer him to come into our hearts, so that we may be forgiven. And that message was for the entire world. He didn't even know you existed, and he did that for every single person on the planet, which is amazing. That's why they keep saying that Jesus is the same as he was yesterday, today, and forevermore. No problem. Sig. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate everybody who comes in, makes a comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. And I really appreciate all those that do. Garcia, hi. Yeah, so God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, our Lord Jesus Christ, as a sacrificial lamb. So we always say, thanks be to Lord Jesus Christ, right? And thank you so much for having us and taking part in tonight's conversation. God bless each and every one of you. Jesus loves you all. And I'm going to call it a night, guys. And thanks, Garcia, for coming in. Really appreciate all those that come in and say hi. God bless you and take good care of yourselves and each other. Peace out till next time. Until tomorrow, we'll want to settle down.